See, in life, you ever be driving down the road and you see like a building that has no walls or like no windows, it's just all boards. Or sometimes you just see concrete and stuff on the ground. That's because they're building. They're like building a building. You don't know what it's gonna look like. You just can see. You can just see and you just know. Oh yeah, look, they're building something, and you just don't know what it is. And like, the more every piece gets added, you start to see what it could be, and you might know what it's gonna be by sometimes they stick it out and say what it's gonna be. The only reason I'm getting that from that is, see, that's what Jesus does. Just like how all them carpenters, and it takes everybody and every piece to help build a building. It's because them people learned how to build a building. So they're going through the motions, and it's getting built. And they got help to learn how to build, and then they build themselves. It's the same thing what Jesus does to us. He helps builds us, and he gets us through. He gives us the know-how. He sends people to help us build us up in life. We won't know the outcome of it. It's just the characteristics of how we get built. Same thing with them. Sometimes they have to tear stuff down to put the building in before they can even start. That's the same thing. Jesus kind of does like to tear us down to build us up, tearing us down to things that we need to get rid of our life to be a new creation in Christ. That's what he does. That's not me. But that's what he does. Just helps us build us up. All the things that we ask about, everything that we need help with, we can ask him and help build us down to build us back up. Not like building us down on like for punishment, but like so we can learn and change our ways. Sometimes that's what it takes, though. You know, because I'm sitting in church and I'm going through a lot of that right now, and it's so humbling, though. You don't understand. Jesus can take away a lot of things that you have in life. It could be years going by, and he could be tearing you down, and it's so embarrassing. Oh my God, bro. And it's so humbling. It's so embarrassing, like to the point where you don't even want to like share with anybody at all. Because people that know you, and then for the people that know you to see what you're like, bro, it's a humbling and it's an embarrassing experience. One that makes you feel less of a man or a woman. And it's the cost. It's a cost that you have to give to be humble, to learn and get rebuilt back up. And I do got some verses though. Matthew 7, verse 24 through 29. Therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him to a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain descended, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it did not fall, for it was founded on the rock, as rock being Jesus Christ. But everyone who hears these sayings of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house. And you know what happened? It fell. And great was its fall, because it wasn't built up on Jesus. See, that's the thing we get. When we build up on a foundation, we have to build up on something strong. Why do you think some of these houses out here that get built can withstand a lot of weather and a lot of storms? Because they're good foundations. They're built proper, and people kind of foresee in their environment, and they build it on what they knew would withstand storms. That's the same thing. We got to build ourselves with Jesus Christ. He builds us up, and he prepares us for everything, the trials and tribulations that come in this world that we face, though. So we're building up on Jesus, and it's making us strong so we can withstand the storm. Because sometimes when we get built up with Jesus, you might not be around people that are the same as you, and if something comes, you'll be able to withstand it if it's just you alone till help comes. Sometimes we have to call for help, and when we call for help, it might not come right away. It could be days, it could be weeks, it could be months, but if we're built up and we know what to do, we'll be able to withstand it. So when the help comes, they'll be like, good job, you withstood the storm and you're still standing. That's because some of us, if we build our life on Jesus Christ, and we build our life on Jesus Christ, we'll be able to withstand the storm. And sometimes if we don't build our life in Jesus Christ, we could end up falling, because we could fall to the We could fall to the evilness and wickedness, and we'll end up falling because we didn't build our house, we didn't build ourselves up and get built upon Jesus put in our life. So therefore we have fallen, fell into sin, temptation, getting in trouble and whatnot because we weren't built up with him. Another one, James chapter 1 verse 2 through 4. See, and my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. That's because that we know, like, some of us, like, when we're getting built, we're supposed to get, we're like, when we know we're going through it, we know that it's teaching us a lesson that we have to build up on ourselves. That's what we got to take from it, that even if we don't think that it's of Jesus, maybe we could think it's of the enemy trying to throw something at us. If we've already built ourselves on Jesus, we can, like, take away from it, be like, well, if it's not of Jesus, I know I built myself upon Jesus, so I can get through it. And if it's of Jesus, I need to find the lesson in it, and knowing that no matter what it is, the lesson I can take from it will help build me up. We got, let me see, 1 Corinthians, where is this at? 1 Corinthians chapter 3. 1 Corinthians, oh, too far. Here we go. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 10 through 17. See, according to the grace of God which is given to me as a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation, and another builds on it. But let each one take heed how he builds on it. For no other foundation can anyone lay that which is laid, which is Jesus Christ. Now if anyone builds on this foundation with gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, straw, each one's work will become clear. For the day will declare it, because it will be revealed by fire, and the fire will test each other's work of what sort it is. If anyone's work which has been built on it endures, he will receive a reward. If anyone's work is burned, he will suffer loss, but he himself will be saved, yet so through fire. Do you not know that you are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwells in you? If anyone defiles the temple of God, God will destroy him. For the temple of God is holy, so which temple you are? Like, you know, if anyone builds up, like, everyone doesn't build the same. Everybody builds differently. Even when you're through Jesus Christ, you might go through the same trials and tribulations just as everyone else, but you're being built differently, intricately, because Jesus Christ knows all the hairs of your head, and he builds everyone else like the potter. Everyone builds up the same, but everyone uses different techniques and stuff. That's why, like, it don't matter what you build with. As long as it's with Jesus Christ, though, in which you go and you build up with him, it's going to stand. Because when the fire comes, that means tribulations. Because if you're for Jesus, trials are going to come at you. Stuff's going to come at you. You might fall because you're not strong enough, and you might not fall. Either way, it's the fire coming. Sometimes God could bring his holy fire against you just to see, though. So, like, you'll receive a reward. That means, like, if you go through life, if you walk through life, and when you die and you go through all the trials and tribulations building on Jesus Christ, if you die and you do right, and you ask for forgiveness going through all that, Jesus could say, good and faithful servant, you may enter the kingdom of heaven, that I know you. And then sometimes you can suffer a loss, because if you're not built on Jesus Christ, you can lose a lot, though, you know, getting in trouble, going to jail, not building up, thinking smart, you know, picking the wrong friends and families, falling back into temptation, doing all that stuff, though, you know. And that's just what it is, though. But I do have a poem about building, a little bit on it, though. See, to start a house, you need to figure out the foundation, the model and layout, adding everything to it that you like and want. So when you're done, it's your building. That's kind of how it is with Jesus. Going to him and asking for what you need, giving him the steering wheel to help you form yourself into the person you're made to be. As he does his garden work, which is called tilling, that's Jesus doing his work on you, building. When he does his work on you, showing you what you need to change and what you need to add, that's him adding his touch. So when he takes something away, don't think of it as him stealing. That's Jesus helping you because he's building. Sometimes before the bad, you ask to get taken away, and it has to be dwindled down. Slowly plucking the sin, so that's the process of thinning. So that's the same work as Jesus does when he's building. See, because like being built in the process and stuff, we go through it. Sometimes he doesn't take stuff away from us as like a loss. It's him taking away for us so he can build us up into the newness and the goodness of what we asked for, though, you know? Because we're asking for what we need, and then we ask help, so we let the Holy Spirit guide us to show us what we need help with, to take it away, to build us up with. You know, and he shows us what we need to change. Sometimes we're not ready. Sometimes we are ready. And sometimes when we're not ready, it's all right. Patience. Jesus knows, and people know that doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow process. Sometimes it could happen overnight if you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, where you're fed up. Sometimes it has to get to that point. But it's always that, though. And like the process of like when it has to be dwindled down, then it's like plucking the weeds. Slowly but surely your sin dwindles. You just can't stop something, especially if it's a routine and it's embedded in your mind. You can't just stop it overnight. You have to like slowly but surely, like picking the weeds. Like for a garden, as I said before, you got to go and pick all the weeds out. You got to do all the little stuff before you can get to the flowers. That's like the same thing walking with your sin. It has to be thinned. You have to get pruned. You have to get pruned for like newness and everything to grow inside of it, yo. But that's really it on building, though.